Hey guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna say straight up, a lot of this review is just gonna be me kind of like flying by the seat of my pants because honestly, this was a chapter where honestly I had a hard fucking time trying to just write down notes. I had to just sit down and talk about it without them. So for that, just so you know, if you see me, you guys looking at my phone a lot during this review, it's because I'm using the manga chapter itself as a reference point to keep myself on track. But I guess the place to start with this chapter is Imu and the reveal of the mother frame weapon, which right out of the gate, which we get the reveal that the mother frame weapon is the thing that basically destroyed Lucia, but the more important part about this is that supposedly it's very heavily alluded to the idea that the mother frame is an ancient weapon, a weapon crafted by Vegapunk. And to that I have to say, Vegapunk, what the fuck, man? Like, seriously, I know the guy's whole ideal is basically that science and technology, it doesn't take a side. It should be used for the good of all of mankind, no matter what. And again, noble like ideals, but seriously, you built them an ancient weapon, motherfucker. One of the weapons that was used by the ancient kingdom, and you're gonna tell me that you're gonna still tout that shit? Like, I'm sorry, you've got blood on your hands, Vegapunk. There's no doubt about it. There's no getting around that fact. And like, I guess maybe to a certain degree, maybe he had to, maybe he was forced to by the government. I don't know, but it's like, seriously, Vegapunk, you seriously fucked up on this one. But okay. Along with that, along with the reveal of the mother frame and all that stuff with it possibly being an ancient weapon, we also get the reveal of the full names of the 5 Elder Stars. Now, bear with me here, and each of them is, as expected, in some way take the name of, I guess, a Roman god of some kind. So obviously we already know who we already know Saturn. Like, it's for Saint J. Garcia Saturn. But then we also have the long bearded one, who's Saint Marcus Mars, the guy with the big mustache, who's Saint Topman Mercury. I don't know why they just didn't go with Mercury on that one. I don't know why I just didn't go with Mercury on that one. Why you had to have a little naming scheme for that? Like, Mercury, really? Like, dude, just do Mercury. I don't know why you did that. Then we have the bald-headed one, Saint Ethan Baron v. Nusjuro, and then we have like the younger, like blonde-haired guy with the beard, Saint Shepherd Drew Peter. Again, naming scheme, Peter, I guess, but like, again, I'll admit the naming scheme on that one is actually pretty clever, but it's like, yeah, I don't know why the naming scheme on that one pretty clever. It's like a play on Jupiter kind of thing. So I don't know what, again, Mercury. I don't get the thing there. Maybe it's the thing where I think Mercury was like a god of war or something. I don't know, but yeah, but okay. And it is with the reveal that these guys, we also get the reveal that they each have a certain role to play. Like when it comes to Jay Garcia, he's supposedly a head of science and defense. So possibly, I think Jay Garcia is probably the one who commissioned the is definitely the one who I think that says that Jay Garcia is the one who commissioned the creation of the mother frame from Vegapunk. I think, like, he's probably the one who commissioned it. Then we have Marcus Mars, who's head of environment. Saint Topman, who's head of Godhead Justice. So probably his jurisdiction was areas like Enies Lobby and the Navy, all that stuff, which in areas like and then we have and Ethan Baron Venustro, who's head of finance, and Jupiter, who's head of agriculture. And in some ways, with this reveal in itself, it does kind of explain now of why the Gorosei, why the 5 Elder Stars are considered like at least one of the top authorities, because each of them is responsible for an aspect of how the world is run. Like each, like they're unfortunately like no one can truly act with no one of other authority, like the government, like the Navy or something. It's the situation where if these titles can be believed, then they truly can't act without the authority of the government's approval. So like even stuff like agriculture, like that stuff needs its approval from them, and it's like it does give a bit of an introspective of just how much power these dudes have. Honestly, like they obviously don't have as much power as Emu or the Celestial Dragon still, but they are responsible for the running of the world, so to speak. Now, with that said, yeah, let's talk about Emu, because we get a huge reveal through Eva. Like after we return to the present, we basically Eva kind of talks a little bit about who Emu is, and supposedly Emu was one of the original monarchs. Like his real name at the time was Saint Emu of the Nerona dynasty, according to Vegapunk, and this kingdom apparently was working towards the idea of everlasting life. So that in itself just raises the question: what is the method in which? So if this Emu is still the same one from 800 years ago, is still the leader of that dynasty, then how did he achieve everlasting life? What was the method in which the Nerona dynasty had achieved it? What was their purpose? Are we talking something like an elixir of life kind of situation, or how did they discover this everlasting life? Because again, the fact that Emu is still alive all these years later, it's kind of it just raises so many questions about how Emu is still alive. Now, and yeah, it's like the whole situation is just, the whole situation itself just feels like it's gone complete. I like how Dragon basically admits that in some ways even he admits that first, even despite Sabo's best attempts of even recruiting more revolutionaries of even after after arriving on Lelucia and just having and being welcomed and kind of convinced and just having a natural and just naturally like allowing the citizens to rise up in order to defend them. It's like even though he managed to liberate Lelucia, it still died, but he saved the ones who protected him, and they became revolutionaries. It's one of those things where it is interesting how even though he still fought to like liberate it, it still ended up dying. And I like how it is kind of, I like how it does kind of go with what Dragon is saying in this chapter about how he admits things are getting out of control to the point where even he can't really predict as to what's going to happen now. Like he's been so good at trying to like understand what the best route is for this, but really with the reveal of who Emu might potentially be, and just with the idea of the Mother Frame being an ancient weapon, like things are getting out of control. Like the government is holding a lot of powerful cards at their disposal now, and I'm not gonna say he's doubting himself or having second thoughts, but I think he is starting to realize this is becoming a little bit more dangerous than he might have initially realized. Like this is something I don't think he expected to happen. But yeah. But okay, I guess the other thing to talk about with this chapter is, we basically get the reveal of one of the long descendants of one of the original people, one of the original rulers of God Valley. His name is Saint Fig Erland Garling, and who today serves the government as the Supreme Commander of the Holy Knights. And so yeah, that in itself says, like, if the man was the original ruler of God Valley, he's someone we need to worry about too. There's so many. I like how with this chapter there are so many powerful, like, chess pieces being placed on the board that it's like, what's the route going forward here? Like, how are we supposed to oppose the government with so many powerful people being placed on the board now? Like, it's a little, like, I'm thinking back to, like, what I said last week about how I wanted some answers, and boy howdy did I get my answers. But the answers have me even asking more questions about, like, how the fuck are we supposed to survive this? Like, how the fuck is anyone supposed to survive this? Like, I feel like the revolutionaries, even if they succeed in, like, liberating the world from the government, they're still gonna end up dying doing so. Like, that just feels like what's happening here. But with the reveal of Garling, though, we see the fate of what happened to Mjosgard, which is, yeah, he got executed, meaning pretty much anyone who opposes the government, even if they're a celestial dragon, they themselves can still die. Like, the celestial dragons, for the most part, they're basically slothful, ignorant rulers. But even someone like Mjosgard, who was a celestial dragon but still opposed the government's, like, ideals, I guess, even he ended up getting. And it shows that in some ways the government really doesn't discriminate. If you oppose the government, you will die, kind of thing. And yeah, I suppose the final thing to talk about with this chapter, though, is that I suppose one of the smaller things to talk about with this chapter, though, is that we get the reveal that I suppose Vivi doesn't know her father's dead, and because I guess Wapol hasn't told her yet. Which, Wapol, seriously, dude, tell the woman. Seriously, she needs to fucking know at this point, especially considering Imu is now targeting Vivi. Like, seriously, are you that much of a dumbass? I'm sorry, but I gotta call you out. Are you that much of a fucking dumbass? Like, seriously, even when he does a good deed, I'm still fucking frustrated with Wapol. Like, I can understand why he would want to keep it a secret, but at the same time, dude, her father is dead. Tell her about what's going on. Like, even at the beginning of the chapter, we see that both Chaka and Tel are both demanding answers. It's like, yeah, someone fucking tell him. Someone fucking tell her. Like, god damn it. My god. But one thing I do also like with this, though, is that in the aftermath of Cobra's death, is that we do see that Sabo does have genuine regret. Like, he genuinely wanted to save King Cobra, because as Dragon says, Cobra was one of the good ones. He was one of the genuinely good leaders, good-natured leaders who were actually serving a purpose to his kingdom. And now that he's dead, it's like there's one less good leader in the world. It's like this whole thing is coming to a head where things need to change. And yeah, but yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share it around, guys. Dark Knight of Anime signing off. Later, everyone.